Oh my goodness.
Well, we can run it back.
Yeah,
Or
We have to run it back.
okay, let's do it.
You want to clap 3 times?
Yes. Yes. Are we recording, right?
We are recording now.
For all of us, right?
Yes. My God.
Welcome to Colorful Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective.
Again.
I'm your host, Lance. Then I'm with Chris.
Hi.
Malcolm behind the boards.
Hello.
And our missing cast member, Jordan, who is not here. He's missing. He's not dead or anything. He just had a work thing, so he's not here. So, reason why we're laughing is because this part 2, second time we did this. This is the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen.
We invented the remix.
Right. We invented the remix more so than Diddy did when it comes to podcasting. If you are watching this for your first time and you like this first 10 seconds of weirdness, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on iTunes, subscribe, rate, review the podcast so that our podcast can get out into the podcast sphere, so that other people are able to access it, see it, engage with the content as well. Follow us on, if you are watching this episode, there's a link tree, has all our links in there. We got our Discord in there, which is popping always, like throughout. It's like always popping. There's always something going on in the Discord. Yo, first of all, and I'm part of our main topic today, in which we are going to talk about later. That literally started like a whole dialogue throughout the day and stuff like that. And then Jordan's
We
always
be writing dissertations and stuff like that.
Yeah. You can do audio in there too, though, right?
You can do like a voice call.
And have multiple people on it?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do that for like the pod? No?
We
Is that
could.
a bad idea?
We good.
Yeah, we could do that.
I think that might be worth something. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Subscribe, like, comment, share, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, our main page and our group, which is invite only, members only.
Like the jacket.
There we go. And thanks for supporting us. We are up to 31 subscribers on YouTube. And let me tell you how much of an accomplishment that is. It's a hard thing to do to get a subscriber, and so we don't take that for granted that folks are tuning in every single week, liking what they're seeing, supporting and being a part of the community. Again, there are no gatekeepers here. There are no clout chasing here. We just are a community of people who love anime and have a slightly biased perspective because we're all colored folk. But everybody's invited to be a part of this discussion where we talk about anime, where we talk about race, where we talk about culture, and all the things adjacent to anime, K-dramas, mangas, manhwas, comic books, all of those things. And we are glad that you're subscribing and being part of the community and taking part of what's going on. I almost forgot my train of thought. With that, I did want to correct something that I was mislabeled.
Misrepresented?
I was misrepresented. I was fighting for my life.
Were you?
I was fighting for my life. And I want to on the record talk about the space cowboy. Well, actually, I don't even. Again, I don't know why we called it that. Like, we reviewed something totally different.
Yeah.
But talk about the time when I called Boris Bujo. That's his name, right? Boris Cujo. Shamar Moore. So I had a slip of the tongue, which a lot of people who have podcasts, a lot of interviewers, a lot of analysts, this happens. I just heard and it happens worse. I just heard a thing on the news. I just heard a thing. Actually, it was on TikTok, but it was somebody on the news talking about, like, they were supposed to be talking about condominiums. And she said something about going without condoms, like live on the air. And she was like, "Oh, you mean condos?" Oh, I'm so sorry. So all I have to say is, I could have done that, but instead, all I did was
Had
confuse.
dick on the brain.
And he had Shamar Moore on the brain. He had Tyler Perry braids on the brain.
I
Yo,
mean,
what?
was that inaccurate?
All I oh my gosh. You didn't hear what she just
I
said?
did,
Okay.
I did. I was trying to
They're gonna
distract
get us
the
banned off
people.
YouTube. All I did was confuse two bald head, light skinned people. And as a part of the bald head, light skinned community, I will
You're allowed
recognize
to
that
do that?
we look alike. We're similar. And when we start a beard on, we all pretty much are the same folk.
So you look like Boris.
I don't want to say I look like Boris.
So you
I'm
look like
just saying
Shamar
that
Moore.
I understand me empathizing for myself and how I could confuse two bald head, near 50-year-old
But you were so
light-skinned
adamant.
people. Say what?
You
You were
were.
so
I
adamant.
wasn't the
didn't see
adamant
him.
one.
You
First of
didn't
all,
see him in-
first of all,
in
You
Resident
knew
Evil?
Shamar Moore was so cool.
run the tape back.
He's not cool.
Run the tape back.
He's not cool.
You know, run the tape back. Cool?
That's what we
No,
said.
y'all
Because you
was
said
the
Shamar
Yeah,
adamant
Moore.
one.
because we were talking about Shamar Moore.
And I don't know if Boris Cujo is any cooler.
He's cooler.
He's at least
He's cooler.
fine.
He's cool.
I mean, not saying Shamar Moore
I
is
mean,
not
he
attractive.
is German,
but
so he's
Boris is
bilingual,
fine.
I guess.
um,
He was good on Real Husbands,
Husbands
though.
of High,
yeah,
Hollywood.
and Resident Evil.
Well,
Anyways.
and then I said the guy from Agents of Shield would have been
Agents
a
of
good
S.H.I.E.L.D.
one. Something
Henry
Simmons.
Henry Simmons.
Yeah, he
which
would be a good Spike.
yeah, which I think would be a good pick. Yeah, this you totally can't tell that we talked about this before. This is great. I'm gonna now that we do I'm gonna do this. So we got a comment on one of our clips, one of our Instagram clips, which is going up on a Tuesday. It's really Thursday.
Wow.
And we got a
But
comment.
it's going
So
up on a Monday.
right.
Both
because-
of you get out.
Hey,
Going
we
up on the day before Tuesday.
right. Oh, whatever happened. Oh, I know
Oh
what
my
happened to dude. Let me read this guy's Brian Mozart's comment that he left on here. And I don't know if he was just reading the question and reacting to the question.
Maybe he was
I think
answering
he
the
probably
questions,
was.
which I wish more people would do.
That's totally cool.
Honestly,
Shout out to you, Brian Mozart,
That's right.
for showing love and commenting. But
interact with me. I mean, I will answer as no. I'll answer as the community of colored folk and anime, but it's really me. So comment it.
Yeah, I mean,
we
don't
can't,
get me
we
wrong.
can't take responsibility for what she says or types.
I do be like sometimes I'll be in someone's story and I'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I'll be like, oh,
You
that
gotta
probably
relax.
doesn't sound like us.
No, because
That
they gonna think it's
sounds
some
more like
creepy dude
me.
trying to
They're gonna know
I,
it's you.
Hey, I like your
Yeah.
top. Oh,
Yeah,
like
well, especially because I make us follow a bunch of cosplay.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
We need to level that out a bit.
Right.
But they're so cute.
We
I'm
definitely
sorry.
look creepy, and they gonna think it's like me too, because I be talking the majority of the
'Cause
time.
you
They
know
gonna go in there, they be like, this light skinned bald head dude talking about my tie.
But you look like Boris Cujo, so it's okay.
Anyways, let me read this comment from Bronze Mozart.
Oh, babe.
In answering your questions in this post, I'm not gonna read the questions, but I think what he said just has some interesting things in it. Sure, there's nothing wrong with American adaptation. I mean, Japan makes an anime with Nazi Germany and still have Asian actors. LOL. I'm sure they would had. I still don't know what he's trying to say there. An Asian Black Panther. They had an Asian Spider-Man. LOL. Also, the real Death Note movie in Japan was super bad, which I gotta fact check that. I don't know if it was that as bad as.
Oh, nothing's as bad as
I was
that.
like, I don't know if it's as bad as the Netflix adaptation. Just make it good, no tone deaf. Asian anime identify with white characters, so don't make it brown or darker Asians. As for Ghost in the Shell, it was only halfway. The cast of a white. Oh, he typed GITL, but
Girl.
my brain filled it in.
Girl.
Girl. was approved by the original creator in the Ghost in the Shell. Shout out to you, Brian Mozart. Thanks for commenting.
And you know he typed it on the keyboard.
Because the GIT, yeah.
Yeah.
The L and T.
That makes sense. They're right there.
Right next to each other.
Yeah, on that phone. Shout out to you. React. What do y'all think?
I probably mostly disagree. Basically because the fact that like in like Japan and China, they have like the Asian Spider-Man and the Asian character, no matter who that character is ethnically, is because they're mostly homogeneous countries.
Yeah.
Where they're 95 and above % that ethnic group.
Yeah.
So they don't have the bodies for representation.
Right.
But America is the melting pot. So, you know, it's culturally diverse, and it's culturally diverse enough where you can fill all the roles and be accurate ethnically. The Ghost in the Shell casting, I don't disagree with as much as other people do, because for a movie like that, A-list actors, there's not any Asian female A-list actors that could fill that
at least
role,
at
really.
that time.
At least at that time. I mean, even because it's
and the ones that were too old for that film.
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of younger, like.
So ScarJo ain't that young either.
But
right?
she's been with the Avengers. She's been in physical roles,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, so
and they have the lifespan of a female actress to be able to do something like that in Hollywood is super short.
Yeah, because I don't think she's 40 yet.
Yeah, you start playing grandma when you.
I want to say she's
40,
37, 38ish. Maybe 39. I don't think she's 40
I don't
yet.
think you're wrong. I never really thought about it. 36.
Yeah.
Oh,
dang,
wow.
she's
younger
when
than
did
I
she
thought.
start?
She was a child.
She started as a little kid.
I feel like I didn't think that me and her were that close, or like even within a decade of age.
Yeah,
that is interesting. Okay, yeah, I think yeah. Sorry, my bad. React.
No, you're good. Oh, me react.
Yeah, sorry.
You react to
again. Little unsure about that
Darker
brown Asian thing.
Yeah.
Rubbing me the wrong way. But yeah, like he said, even the idea that the characters look white is a very Western viewpoint of anime.
Yeah.
And that Japanese people that watch anime think that those characters look
Japanese.
They look at least Asian, if not
Asian.
Japanese. Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like it's not really that they're identifying with white people, or they're trying to make their characters look like white people, which I think is a general misconception about anime, and it's something that someone on this side of the Atlantic would think watching it anyway. Maybe some people over on there is a thing. Western society in particular,
right?
But like he said, we're dealing with an immigrant nation essentially. So if you're doing a film or a movie or something like that has a community represented in your country,
right,
then you have the ability to tap into that. Whereas like in the Spider-Man example that he gave over there, they wouldn't have had a wealth of people to pick from to be able to really fill out like a Brooklyn community's worth of people for a Spider-Man film. That
or even pretend to be from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
right.
It's
like
funny.
Tom Holland.
Yeah.
It's funny y'all mention that, and I don't want to get away from this, but it reminds me of like, so In the Heights came out.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it yet. It's on HBO too, and I still haven't watched it. I'm just not a musical person. I like music and I like rap. I like rapping, but I don't like listening to musicals.
Really?
Like let me tell you, I remember me and my wife, girlfriend, rented Blockbuster. This is a long time ago.
Shout out to Blockbuster.
Shout out
former
to
employer.
Plug.
That's how old I am.
Yo, and we got Sweeney Todd. And I was like, "Oh, Sweeney Todd looks
Oh,
great."
nice.
We put it
You
in.
didn't like Sweeney Todd?
Well, this the thing. I was like Johnny Depp, Sweeney Todd. Oh, it's gonna be a home run, no problem. And then he stars opposite the girl that he always plays in those movies.
Who I
with.
love. I never remember her name, but
I
I
never
love
remember her name, but she's in like everything. She was just in The Crown too.
Mhm.
She did really good in that. But anyways, I plug it in, and like 5 minutes in, he kills like somebody while cutting their hair, and then starts singing. And I'm like, this ain't gonna be the one for me. Okay, I'm just gonna pop this one out. And hey, if you want to finish this, it's fine. But I'm not. Anyways, all I have to say is,
You don't like musicals. Did you like Hamilton?
I never finished Hamilton.
How
I
did
never
you
finished
not
it
finish
fully.
Hamilton?
What?
I haven't
the-
finished it fully.
I don't mind musicals that much.
Yeah. Anyways, all my bad.
And
I
I
don't want
love musicals.
You love them.
I do.
to. Yeah.
I considered majoring in musical theater when I was in college.
And West Side Story is one of my favorite things.
So my bad. I don't want to. It was my fault. I derailed this. But only reason it reminds me of that is like when you don't tap into, or when you don't. So like I think about In the Heights, where Lin Miranda, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's done a ton of stuff, worked on
Hamilton?
Hamilton, but also worked on
Moana.
Yeah,
wrote a lot of stuff for that as well. He did In the Heights, and he got a lot of backlash because it was said to be representing Afro-Latinos in that
Oh, really?
in the Washington Heights neighborhood.
I
And the
didn't.
problem-
I didn't see it. Nan one Afro Latino nothing in
And
none of the commercials.
Yeah, and the problem.
And not to say that Afro Latinos can't look like the Latinos they put in there, pero
But like the problem is, it's like the problem is in the Heights,
Really?
like especially
Better
in the
like-
Heights. And I haven't never been in New York. This is just from what I know from people who've been in. Like in the Heights, there's along with like a lot of other parts in New York, like Harlem, like parts of Harlem, Spanish Harlem, and stuff like that. It's a wide range of Hispanic people who, some of them are like island Caribbean Hispanic folks, and some of them are like south of the border Central American Hispanic folk. And so for this movie, and I haven't watched it, but this is the backlash, for you to have one kind of Hispanic person and not have any skin tone variation or anything, or have anybody that even looks like, there are a lot of people that look like me or darker, or look as dark as Malcolm. Not that Malcolm's that dark, but like, look as dark as Malcolm.
well, was that
are-
one girl, Mara La Negra?
Oh
What was
yeah,
her
yeah,
name?
yeah, yeah. That's like
Dang, I can't remember her name.
like
But like she's like dark,
legit
but she's like Afro Latina.
Latina.
Right. Yeah, right.
She
It's
used to have a glorious afro. Does
she
she
cut it
still
off?
wear that?
I don't know.
Or not wear that like it's a wig, but
that's still her thing.
I'm not on
She's
social
just
media
like-
anymore. Maybe I'll make us follow her on Instagram.
Oh,
Shout
my
out to all
Lord.
the black women with the afros, looking like the chick from Steven Universe. Shout out to y'all.
But all I have to say is, I just remind me of his comment of like how important it is to act. Like, how important is it to be a true representation when you have the means and the ability to, or when you don't? Like,
Yeah.
so we're
Yeah.
giving.
I'll say I'm not opposed to the idea, because maybe I sound like I am. I'm not opposed to the idea of reconceptualizing a story to fit a culture, or because there's just some things that don't translate as well. Like if you do a German story in Japan, they might mess up some of those things because you're not always aware of your own blind spots, especially culturally. There's just little nuances that you don't get quite right that may be offensive to the people that you're trying to represent. So I'm not against the idea of someone reconceptualizing a story to fit within their culture, because I think that's part of where the power of storytelling lies, when it can be retranslated and maintain the same meaning, but be formed to the people that it's talking to.
Yeah, that's like Stan Lee stuff, like that what we talking about last week, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Taking like the story of Malcolm X Martin Luther King and being like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna completely kind of translate this into a whole another thing. Like you're
Yeah.
just telling the same story, but it's in
Yeah.
a whole different.
Most
you know.
most stories are the same,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like cross culturally.
Yeah.
Cross culturally. There we go.
But yeah, so I'm not against the idea of reconceptualizing a story to fit within a culture. I think that becomes more difficult in nations like ours because there are so many cultures within our culture that you have to kind of find the balance between, can we do this the way that it's supposed to be done, or do we need to reconceptualize it?
But it's also politics and all that plays into it too. You don't
for
know
sure.
what producer don't like what
Because
actor
at the end of
and
the
blah,
day,
blah,
you're still trying to
blah.
make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even if you're not trying to make money, you're trying to get your art seen. You want you create something, you put it
I
out
feel
there
like
because you want people
anybody
to see
above the
it.
director just wants to make money.
That's very true. That's very
Well,
true.
So, I hear what you're saying, like to be careful, but there are like flagrant things that are like, all right,
For
this
sure.
is not okay.
Oh yeah, like
Emma Stone playing
guys
Hawaiian.
in what was the Egyptian one?
You said who?
The guys in whatever that came out like 7-8 years
Guys
ago.
of Egypt? Is
Yeah,
that what
guys
it
of
was?
Egypt.
Oh,
was
and there
nuts.
was like
And
no
nobody was
niggas.
Egyptian.
Man.
And I know, because the only reason I thought about it too, and this is where and now it's segue after this, I guess. I don't want to take it too far out, but it reminds me of, I don't know if y'all heard about Julia Roberts as Harriet Tubman.
What?
Like,
Yeah,
rumors.
I've seen that.
If she
that
didn't
was
agree
supposed
to
to.
it. Yeah, she didn't.
They
agree
supposedly
to it,
like
anything.
approached her.
with those leaked email things.
Yeah, but they were trying
okay,
to pitch
okay.
the role to her.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure if she was entertaining it or not, but as soon as the information leaked, we wouldn't know that. Like,
No.
but like,
That's
there's
hilarious.
First of all,
I mean,
think it's
they made
I think
Zoe
it's because
Deschanel
I
play
don't-
Nina Simone, and I'm still disrespected by that.
I think
Oh, not Zoe
that would have been
Deschanel.
hilarious.
Oh my God.
That would have been hilarious.
Julia
Not
Roberts.
With
her.
Julius Roberts.
Anybody
was
other than old
Harriet
girl who just
Tubman?
passed away as
Who?
Harriet Tubman is probably flagrant. So she plays like the grandmother in every movie, every black movie.
Oh,
ever.
Cicely Tyson.
Yeah.
Cicely Tyson.
I need to buy
anybody
her
other than
book.
Cicely Tyson is Harriet
Well,
Tubman.
they had a
Like-
British girl play
Yeah.
a British musical. She's in shit. What was she in? I can't remember what she was in, but
Why
I
wouldn't
think
you just get
she was doing
Viola Davis
theater.
and make
I
all
know.
the money.
Viola
Hanging-
Davis,
Hello
she got too
Hanging
much of an
Fruit.
accent to play.
But I
Harriet
heard
Tubman,
though, I did hear that the Harriet Tubman movie was not good.
No, it's supposed to be terrible. I refuse to watch it
Yeah.
from what people were saying.
But all that to say is like there are things that are not cool as far as when we talk about reaching out for
Not as cool as Shamar Moore. I'm sorry.
YouTubers. Help me.
All right, last one.
This is
That's
my
the last
safe
one.
word because I'm being tortured on my co-host. And that's not speaking of. This has nothing to do with culture. I'm not going to try to segue this from that. Our main topic. Where we at time wise?
23 minutes.
Perfect.
We got time.
We got time today, cuz.
I be shaking my legs a lot, like I got restless.
That's what we're
legs.
talking
It's
about
not
right
on
now.
camera.
We're really talking about that.
It's not on
Sorry,
camera.
I was
That's-
waiting. I was
She
waiting.
has to potty. She's
I do
holding it.
not. No,
Okay.
I just am an anxious person.
So we have a Discord, which thought is a really great Discord. There's a lot of different people. Well, I'm not gonna say anything, but we have a lot of different people, a lot of different perspectives, and we appreciate everybody that's in the Discord. If you want to hop in the Discord, the link is in our link tree. That's gonna be in the description of this video if you're on YouTube, and if you're on the podcast, it'll be in the show notes as well. It's the same notes. We're not. Anyways, the question, which I thought it was a pointed question for us to ask while Jordan is not here. Sorry, Jordan, you're gonna miss out on this. Although, like, I don't feel like this applies to Jordan. Like this question about like
He might have
you
put
ever
his
stopped?
response to it in there too.
he was what did he say? Man, if you ever stop watching, then you trash. No, he didn't say that. All I had to say is it's a question I thought that a lot of our viewers who are like our demographics is in the same kind of age bracket, and you have
Most of us.
and you are, you have real life, you have marriage, you have the salaried job
Right.
or per hour job, and if y'all don't know, we don't get paid off this podcast
Not
like
yet.
that. Shout out to our supporters though on
On
Anchor, and be looking out for the Patreon stuff we're gonna be working on with as well. But we don't get paid off a substantial amount off this podcast, and so
love.
right, and so all I have to say is the time committed to watch animes, read mangas, read manhwas, read comic books, all those different things. It gets kind of prioritized a little bit lower than we would even like to, because we enjoy this stuff. And so the cool guy 001, who's like newer-ish. I mean, I guess not new now, but newer-ish to the Discord. Shout out you. Had a question. He asked in the Discord, but I thought it might be good to bring up on a pod. When you got older, did you start to lose enthusiasm, lose interest for watching anime and reading manga? I read and watch anime manga since I was a kid, but for some odd reason, I started to lose interest after college. React. What do you guys think?
I put like a short response in the Discord, but maybe I'll expound. So I think for me, I had watched it a lot as like a kid because I was watching a lot with my brother.
Who's
But
great. He's a great guy.
oh yeah, sure. But growing up like as a girl, especially as like a Black girl, I didn't have any friends that were into any of the geeky nerdy stuff. And that's not to say that there's not like, in my head, and it's probably because of the internet, I'm always like, there's a ton of Black girl nerds out of there. What are you talking about? But when I have to think about like my actual community and people I know face to face, there aren't a ton. And remembering growing up being kind of like the only one, and like when you're little, it's quirky. Like I used to like WWE and stuff like that too. One year,
WWF. Sorry, you probably did grow up WWE.
No, I didn't. I'm not that much younger than you are.
know you just said WWE though.
I did, because that's what it's called now.
WWF. Come on now.
Whatever. In any case, when we actually went to SmackDown once when they were in Milwaukee.
They come here a lot too, which
we
is
had like took pictures and stuff, and I brought the developed ones to school. And all my girlfriends were like, yeah, what? So then I was like, I showed some of the boys, and I got a little street cred. But that's just
you were with Stone Cold? Oh my gosh.
So, but like I used to like that kind of stuff, but I didn't have any girlfriends that were into that. So like by the time middle school and high school came around, and I was like more ingrained in my in my community there was nobody to bounce anything off of or anything like that. He was older and going to college and stuff like that. So it was like I didn't watch, I didn't read, nothing.
Yeah.
And then on top, like you don't have like people don't reinforce that with young girls either, just because sometimes they just make the assumption you're not into it if you're not like seeking it out on your own all the time. So I just fell off. And so then I think that what's funny is what got me back into anime was K-dramas.
Hey.
So I started watching K-dramas in college, right? I started watching K-dramas in college off some just like I want to watch something different. And they started putting it on Hulu from Drama Fever. Yeah. Shout out to Drama Fever.
You ever seen Drama? Is it Drama World?
I fucking love that. What?
It's like it was like their way of. Sorry, I don't want to take you off.
No, go.
It's like it was their way of like bridging. It was how I started watching K-dramas. And essentially, it came out like 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's like this white girl who, I don't know, she bumps her head or whatever, and then she accidentally like falls into like a K-drama. But like a K-drama, not like spoof per se or whatever. So she wakes up, she She like is like, what in the world is going on? I don't understand these tropes. I don't understand
Oh
any
my
of this.
gosh.
Anyways,
No,
but
I
anyways.
have not. But actually, my very first K-drama was Playful Kiss.
Oh,
Oh, hilarious. Anyway, I started watching that, and like Hulu in particular had started just like they're playing with the content on their platform. So they started having like anime available and stuff like that. And so I started getting back into it. I had dropped out of school and stuff like that and had some time on my hands. So I binge watched Naruto and got myself out of a little depression funk. And then just kept going. I was like, man, I've missed a lot because I haven't been watching. I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, and then like nothing for a long time.
yeah.
So I binged Naruto, and then I just started watching all the stuff that I missed out on.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Malcolm, like Naruto is great. I didn't want to watch it at first because it's a demon thing and I was scared and I thought it was going to be scary, but it was actually really cool. And what else is there? And so he would give me all these titles and stuff or whatever, things to watch or whatever. And yeah. So I think I hopped back on it, but I have a very obsessive personality. We kind of talked about this earlier. I have a very obsessive personality, but I also get bored very easily. So my watching and reading comes in waves. I also don't like finishing good things because then they're over.
Yeah.
So I will find something that I like and be like obsess over it and then like not be able to stop until I get bored. So if something starts to become monotonous or repetitive or something like that, and I get bored with like the will they won't they stuff or whatever, I can't. That's why I like that the romance series are a little shorter because I get bored with that tag game in real life and in stories. So I'll if I get bored, I'll stop and I won't read or watch anything for a while, and then I'll find something else that scratches an itch, and then I like obsess over that next thing.
And you feel like there's enough content now for you.
Oh my gosh!
Do that.
Talk about oversaturated.
There's
there's one person. There was one of the videos on TikTok where they were saying all this stuff about being an anime fan. And one of the things they said was a hard truth was like, you will never watch all the anime on your list. Which I was like, ow.
Yeah.
That was disrespectful.
For sure.
But yes, that's my little story.
Malcolm, what are your thoughts?
I was heavy into anime when I was little, watching things I shouldn't be watching at like 6, 7, 8 years old. Like Akira and Ninja Scroll and Palabora Police Force. Yeah. But I kind of grew out of it. I watched it all the way up to Nami. I was probably preteen, 11, 12, 13. When Toonami like hit his stride with like Dragon Ball and Cowboy Bebop and Big.
They had a lineup.
Like they had all the they had good stuff on there. And then kind of just 8th grade, high school, just sports, girls, homework, work, mostly work. I worked most of high school. Just kind of just rewatched things I've seen already.
Right.
Rewatched Dragon Ball Z when they replay Toonami at like midnight, and I would catch something new every once in a while because the Sci-Fi Channel used to do anime Saturdays, and they used to play anime movies on Saturdays.
The Sci-Fi Channel,
yeah,
man.
I'm old. And then Sci-Fi Channel's still out, isn't it?
It's still out, but it's
not. But who has
not
cable
in that same
nowadays?
capacity. Yeah.
And then I kind of totally fell out like college age. And then but again I would watch old stuff. Like I worked at Blockbuster, so I like owned like Ninja Scroll and Akira. Like I owned those type of things, a couple of Dragon Ball Z things.
On VHS.
On DVD. I did have some Dragon Ball on VHS though. And some stuff recorded from the Sci-Fi Saturday. I still had those tapes somewhere in the house.
Yeah, you recorded over my recital.
I did record over your recital.
I mean, was a recital fire though? Like, or was
Yes,
it,
it
like,
was.
boo-boo?
It was the
Like-
Lean on Me. I mean,
Yeah, when I was Harriet Tubman.
yeah,
We talked about that, didn't we?
yeah, we did. Yeah, I recorded over that, and it was great. And I was like, oh, my bad. But I didn't go through a depression, but I went through a bout of insomnia because I was on and off third shift for like a year and a half, just switching between third and second because of work demands.
Lord have mercy.
It sucked.
Were you like
So
a,
for like
you were like a trapaholic or something? Was it
no,
like-
just the job I was at.
Duffel bag boy. What?
I came off a third shift, started working second shift, and it was a long second shift,
Yeah.
like 4 to midnight. And then they needed a third shift person, so I jumped on third shift. Yeah. And then they needed a second shift person, so they put me on second shift. And then somebody left, so I jumped between second and third. This is like a year and a half, 2 years.
Lord have mercy.
So after that, for a while, I couldn't sleep. And my guy and his wife, shout out to Chris and Denise Burton, love Naruto.
Mhm.
And they was like, you got to watch it, man. So, like, I think they were just before the Great Ninja War.
Mm.
And so I watched, like, all the way up to that in, like, a month.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't sleep at night. And then I kind of just eased
So
back
Naruto
into it.
Was your gateway back.
Into it, yeah. And then I watched, like, Hunter x Hunter and a couple other things from that.
Yeah.
And then, like, a couple years later, a lot of years later now I think about it. Like Attack on Titan and stuff. I started keeping up with things that I heard about. But I didn't really start looking again until my sister was like, can you be on our podcast? And then I was like, sure. Because I love my sister.
This is the podcast, folks. That he's
This
talking
is the
about.
podcast.
There you go.
So now I'm looking for things to watch.
It's that reinforcement is what you touched on that too. I think about because there are a few things for me, like I'm a battle rap fan, but the same way that y'all are talking about this, in the same way I've experienced this, is also how I experienced battle rap. Like in high school, I used to watch the Smack DVDs, and I used to everything I get my hands on.
At the house.
Say what?
I still got like 20 of those at the house.
That's what I'm
I used
saying.
to
Like
buy
it
them
just
from Discman.
Yep. And like it's
My God.
but like and then I was able to obsess over those things, and there was a period of time where I had other priorities, and like I didn't until like a couple years ago, because battle rap didn't like go anywhere. It got bigger, actually. It got better. And until a couple of years ago, I started picking that stuff back up, and I get to talk about it with my buddy John and whatnot. But like anime for me, it was interesting because my gateway into anime was like WB, Saturday morning WB stuff. I guess it's not WB anymore. Whatever
I think
it
it was
is.
but
it was
Pokemon and
WB.
Digimon and all that.
The
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Digimon, Ghostbusters had a anime or like a comic book kind of
Yeah.
animated thing. And the only reason I'm bringing it up because Yu-Gi-Oh was on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
And I used to come up. I didn't have like a large Yu-Gi-Oh card collection, but I had a Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. We used to play with my cousin. My cousin had the CD book full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and so he'd be dusting me off every time we'd be dueling.
That's hilarious.
So what?
I said that's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm like, and so, but that was a reinforcement for me because I was like, oh man, now I got to start collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards, and so that's what I would collect. I would go to the store, hey ma, can I get this little pack? So how much is it? $6? Whatever, it's fine. Never got Exodia, so whatever. I felt the way about that.
Don't know what that means.
You never played Yu-Gi-Oh?
I was too old for Yu-Gi-Oh.
I guess you were.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in the scene.
Yeah,
So-
I was like 12 when Pokemon got popular.
Well, yeah.
I liked
yeah.
Pokemon a lot, but they were talking about something in the Discord the other day, and I was like, legendaries and third generation.
Yeah, we're strictly
What's
like the first
happening?
51.
Yeah.
We had
Barely
Pokemon
that.
Snap,
Bulbasaur, Charizard,
Squirtle,
Squirtle,
original 3,
Pikachu.
Yeah, and then all the funny ones.
like
of
lick a
course.
tongue.
Yeah, and Slowpoke. Yeah, and look at all that Jigglypuff.
Ugh.
But none of the other stuff that y'all talking about.
What?
What-
Detective
what's
Pikachu lick a tongue? What? What? Oh, that was nasty. Oh, that was
Anyways.
nasty.
So I
Sorry.
used to, no, it's cool. I used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards as because that was a reinforcement. I was like, oh man, well, because I used to live in Tennessee, I had no real incentive to play. But when I would come visit my cousin in Milwaukee, I'm like, oh, okay, in Wisconsin, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna play with him, so I can keep collecting these in my little hick town in Tennessee or whatever. And that's what got me into Toonami and all that sort of stuff. Like early days Toonami, like when you come home after wherever you did after school, like 4,
right at 4.
Yeah, right at 4, boom, and then you see dude with the little robot dude.
Hey there, guys.
Yeah, cool for no reason. And like I said, there's that reinforcement, and then I continue to watch. They continue to grow, and I'm an obsessive person as well. And I'm it's not diagnosed, but I'm like an ADD person as well. That has a really hard time of paying attention to stuff unless it captures my attention for a period of time. But anime did that for me. So like watching Toonami, later on watching Adult Swim for a couple of those different things that would go on there. But for me, the fall off was because I watched it all the way up into college. Like I had a little period of time in high school where I stopped because of girls and stuff. And I'm not saying like girls are bad. But again, I'm an obsessive person who fixate on different things or whatever. And so I can kind of make these different things more important than they need to be. Not that women aren't important. Don't cancel me. All that to say is like I was just my priorities was in different places.
Yeah.
And then in college, like I was just kind of like a little bit of a loner because I didn't have any. None of my friends went to college with me, like when I went to UWM or whatever. So I just binged mad anime. Like I started watching Bleach, and that's where I like binged all the way through Bleach until like the manga. And that's how bad it got. When they were like, because I stumbled upon the anime just off of like a recommendation, and then I was like, oh wait, this should be more. Like, where's the rest of this? And then I was like, they were like, well, they've only edited manga. I'm like, manga? What? Okay, let's go look this up. And then I was reading the chapters of the manga. That's how I like end up getting to the end of Bleach or whatever before the anime finished. And so all that and then like, but like, and then I got married, and then like, not that my wife bars me from watching anime or anything like that. She doesn't mind. But like, your priorities just shift. Like
you're grown.
Yeah, I'm like, you got like provide and all that different stuff.
Shit.
He's a provide.
All that sort of stuff. But like, you have to contribute to the world. And so watching anime didn't feel like
can't be a neat.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that. And I'm on a tangent, but all that to say is like I think before this podcast, like slightly before this podcast, and being able to chop it up with folks like Jordan and stuff like that. I mean, even you, like from time to time, and different folks, it's that positive reinforcement to be like, hey, it's okay to do this. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not like you're not wasting your life away. Like, this is actually giving you a bit of life. It's encouraging so that you can actually get through whatever crappy part of life you got.
Plus
going.
Ultra.
You said what?
Plus Ultra.
No, I will, and even just from like us talking or whatever, I feel like that was the common thread was this idea of like when you had a community around you that was into that thing where you could have discussions, where you could have like that discourse about stuff. Yeah, that reinforces like being able to be into something or on top of something or whatever. If you don't have people around you that are into it, then usually you're not going to be keeping up with it as much because you're trying to, I think as much as we love the things that we love, we're trying to maintain our social connections with actual people more so than we are those recreational things. So if that recreational thing doesn't feed like those interpersonal relationships, then they become less of a priority over time. or like even thinking about I don't know, like one of the things that helped me, I think, a lot, especially as not having people in my immediate vicinity, was being super involved with social media, being on stuff like Twitter, and being able to be a part of like anime cultural moments,
Yeah.
like the Demon Slayer episode, whatever the fuck it was, where everybody was freaking the fuck out kind of thing, or this like general consensus during quarantine that everybody was gonna watch One Piece. But like you have those moments where it's like, even if you are in a space or a situation where there's no like tangible people around you that are into it, that there's this like online community that you can tap into that does. And it's one of the things I think that's nice, the nice side of internet and stuff like social media or whatever, is that you don't feel so alone with that kind of stuff anymore, especially like we all know growing up as young nerds, when you didn't have that around you, you felt weird or like an outcast, and sometimes people treated you like you were an outcast because you were the only person in the room that liked that thing. Where now you have social media and you can see like there's hundreds of thousands, millions of people that like the same thing that you do, and you're not as strange as you think you are.
Yeah, because like when you don't have that reinforcement, you automatically pivot into a different, just another role, another like kind of, I say like clique or people group with a different set of interests. Like because my thing was in high school, I wasn't having anime discussions. Like I was just, I was having a lot of different discussions about, people who lived around the same neighborhood I lived around. That was just Hampton, lay it down. What? But like, or it was about the, just like the rap stuff, because the rap stuff for me became a bit more prominent or whatever. But like, because those things were able to be followed up with those interpersonal relationships, like you said, like that, naturally, those other hobbies that don't have that same kind of reinforcement, like then naturally, it's just like, well, like it's cool, but like I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
But I think what I like nowadays, when I even think about stuff like TikTok, who's like, what now is like has like a very huge like anime culture. Of course, like YouTube has it, but like in and of itself, like just short form content where everybody watches things and they understand it. Or if everybody watches or like even the comic book related stuff, when you see the Invincible Think Mark Think, like everybody know what that means. And the fact that that's a thing, where like for me in high school, like that wasn't a joke, like going around in my high school, that wasn't a joke amongst my group of friends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think because you're a couple years younger than me, right?
Couple
years younger. Because my generation, the most hoodest of niggas like Dragon Ball Z.
That's also
my
true.
guy who ended up like in gangs and selling drugs and stuff later. We used to watch Dragon Ball Z together. Like,
but Dragon Ball Z is the only exception.
But that's still an anime though.
I know, but what I'm saying is, it's like because we played the games and all that stuff too when they came out. But like it wasn't like a culture around.
But when I was younger, there were no games. The games were all overseas.
Something like the Dragon Ball Z games?
Yeah.
Like PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
Word?
PlayStation 2 came out when I was 16.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. I think I was 16.
Makes sense.
Nigga, you old.
Wow.
But like
maybe 14. Maybe 14, 15, 16, one of those. But yeah,
sense.
But like 10, 11, 12, 13-ish.
Yeah.
Like all the kids in the hood watched Dragon Ball Z because that was the hypest stuff on TV at the time.
No, the bitches in the hood were watching Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but that was like it, especially for like black folks. Like hood black folks. Like, of course we talk about Dragon Ball Z, and of course like Sailor. Like my cousins used to watch Sailor Moon and stuff like that. It was just funny. But like I didn't. But there wasn't a.
But it wasn't a community.
Culture.
That stuff faded away when we started getting like high school years. But we knew like you could come in and somebody that didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like anything else, like maybe a couple Cowboy Bebop things you
Right.
can get.
Mhm.
But like Big O and some of the other stuff.
Oh, I
that would come
totally
on,
forgot about Big
like-
O.
like,
Yo,
wouldn't nobody really get those because everybody watched Dragon Ball Z.
that's crazy. I totally forgot
But-
about Big O. Sorry. That's
One
so
of the
the
things
deep
too,
cut.
I think too, because I think about like a lot of like nerdy people that, especially when I start layering not only anime stuff with like comic book stuff as well. A lot of the, especially that realm of people, how do I say this?
Don't get us canceled.
I think a lot of people believe that their hobbies are just their hobbies because that's a thing that they like, and that you can like it in a bubble.
Right.
But the reality of kind of human nature is that we're social creatures.
Yeah.
And that's why I think there is that huge emphasis on a community around the things that you
even
like.
people that like deny popular things in a group.
Right.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's
Part of
like
cancel culture, right? Like it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
like that's the reason
the
why it's
herd
a thing.
mentality. But
Yeah.
but even if your herd is small, it's still a herd. And it's like you're
Ooh,
still
your herd is herd. Put it on a T-shirt.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's
no,
ours
but
now.
it's
Don't
like
take it.
we move in groups, we move in packs, we move in. We're not, there aren't any true lone wolves. There never are. Even if it's like even when you were in school and you had the one person that always wanted to be different, but they were different like a group of kids that they would hang out with, and they were all different in the same ways, which made them not unique at all.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, no, you like this thing that's like outside of like the cultural norm or whatever, but there's still a community around that thing. And when you
Right.
don't have reinforcement like in your purview, like that you can really dive into or whatever, those things will fall off. So it's like,
Right.
yeah, as you're an adult and you don't have people around you that are into it, you have other responsibilities, you have relationships that you're trying to upkeep,
Or
whether
pursue.
romantically or friendships or whatever. There are so many things that are more important, and then so many hobbies that will feed those relationships better than this thing.
Yeah.
So when it falls off, usually it's because you don't have that interpersonal reinforcement or whatever.
Yeah.
But that just, speaks to the general lack of uniqueness in human beings in a general sense. But that
Yeah.
gets me in trouble sometimes, that I believe that.
No, I mean, so a question I'll ask, where we at time wise, by the way?
53.
Okay. Question I'll ask. So I do think, and this is part of why this podcast is even a thing, and why we even have 31 subscribers right now, or whatever, on YouTube. And last week we had 29 or whatever. The anime, there's something about anime for good, if that makes sense. Like there's something good about building a community around anime. Like it's helpful, I want to say. I believe so. I'd like to believe so. And so I guess like to back to the heart of the original question that the cool guy Cool guy brought up.
001.
When you have what would you say to those folks who have like maybe they're currently in a period of I can't find any time to watch anime, or I can't find any time to read manga? Like, how would you encourage them to kind of pursue the hobby? How would you like encourage them to plug in a way that is helpful for them as an adult?
If they
I
don't have time,
wouldn't. I would say then don't.
yeah, if
You don't
if
like
you don't
anything
have-
out this
if you
season,
don't
don't
have
watch
time,
anything
Yeah.
that's out this season. Something piques your interest, give it a couple episodes. If you're not into it, you're not into it. There's other things in the world, kind of thing. You don't have time to read manga or whatever. It's like, let it build up. Then you can have a binge
it.
Saturday or something. Make you you need some green tea in your life. Make some green tea. Sit down,
Chamomile.
with
no,
your
don't do chamomile. You don't go to sleep.
right, go right. sit down with
Earl
your
Grey.
iPad or phone or whatever and just binge the whatever you missed in the
Yeah.
time that you
Yeah.
were gone. Like it's like one of the things that's nice about the way the world is now is that it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
If you're not into it right now, you're not into it right now. You don't have to force yourself to watch or read or to whatever. And if you miss a cultural moment, it's gonna be stamped somewhere in the internet forever. So it's
Yeah.
like you'll always have an opportunity to go back to anything if you feel like you missed something or whatever. But you know,
And
you're
also
you
'cause-
grown. You
and also
grown.
because
Yeah.
most of the most popular animes have like hundreds of episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't take it in small bites. If you can only watch an episode, maybe once or twice a week, maybe 2 episodes on the weekend,
Yep.
and just do that. Do that to relax. Don't feel like, oh man, I gotta really push through this. Like Chris
Right.
said, it's going to be there. So
Yeah.
just watch an episode or 2 or read a chapter of manga to relax and just do that.
Yeah, it's funny because like I hear people talk about this all the time with music and how like they say, "Oh, you had to be there for the '90s." Like I was born in the
You
'90s,
did.
but I wasn't like a teenager in the '90s, or like in my 20s in the '90s. It's different when you can kind of move with your own money and your own group of friends or whatever. You know what I mean? But like I think about when Soulja Boy came out. And I think
Soulja
about
Boy.
when Superman and all the ringtone
Superman,
things to
that
follow,
hoe.
and other
Kiss her through the phone.
kiss you through the phone. Like I think about when that came out.
Yikes. Okay, go on.
Hey, Big Draco have respect put on his name. Not to be confused with Aubrey, but Big Draco. okay?
Drake.
But like I remember when that came out and what it was like to everybody trying to do these freaking dances and these
And
7XTs.
now we got TikTok dances,
which
are like,
which Soulja Boy created.
I'm like, what are y'all majorettes?
But-
Jesus.
But music is like, and don't get me wrong, some music is timeless, but some of it you got to be there for it. Otherwise, it looks goofy. You ain't
It's
gonna
like
understand it.
comedy. Oh my God, I love stand-up comedy. Been
Right.
very obsessed with Jake Johnson lately.
Jake Johnson. Oh yeah. But like all that to say is like anime isn't like that. Anime
Yeah.
doesn't
It's not.
you don't have to if you weren't there when the Cell arc debuted on Toonami or whatever, and so you was coming home and you was like, dang, what
Oh, that nigga still waiting.
Right.
He's still waiting to beat somebody.
Bro, like
8
they
weeks
still,
later,
they
like-
still on
24.
Namek. They
It's been
still on
24
Namek. It's
episodes and
gonna
ain't nobody
explode
show
in
up.
2 minutes.
right.
This
So like
2 minutes has been 3 years long.
right. They did that with the Frieza arc like
Yeah.
early
Oh,
on.
there's this one Cake Island fight that's like that, and I was like, I am so thankful that I did not watch this as it was releasing because I would have been annoyed as fuck.
Right. So like the payoff is for a lot of people is better now, like because anime doesn't present itself in a way that you got to keep up with everything that's going on
Yeah.
all the time.
Mm.
That's people. That's
Yeah, sometimes social media can make it feel
Yeah.
that way. Like if I'm not watching this right now while
You're
everybody
missing
else,
out.
yeah,
But you're not.
you're not.
yeah. And even
It's
this podcast, like
Especially if you don't mind getting
Well,
spoiled.
and also good animes, like those moments have weight.
yep.
Like even when you rewatch it, like
Mhm.
good anime moments still have weight to them.
Because there are some things that don't age well. Bad, like some of the dub from the 90s didn't age well.
Yeah.
Some of the animation from the 90s didn't age well. Like
Right.
the animation nowadays compared to what it was back there is
Well,
no
it depends on what
comparison.
you're watching because some people cut corners. Record of Ragnarok.
Uh,
Show steals.
Oh, we did not talk about what we're reading, watching, and playing.
We didn't.
no, yeah, we saw it. No,
We
we
not at
didn't.
all.
We skipped
Because
it.
no,
Jordan's
totally
not
fine.
here.
Jordan's
That's
not
his
here,
baby.
and the
That's
part of
his
us is
baby.
missing.
I
But
know.
like,
we feel the loss.
without a doubt. But even so, like even with this podcast, like we talk about a lot of different animes, comic books, K dramas, foreshadowing. Like we talk about all these different things, but it's not a hey, keep up with us. It's a hey, we thought this was interesting, or hey, we reacted to this. But like, I hope like people watching this, they don't get that pressure to be like, oh man, I gotta keep up. oh man, I'm out of the loop. And it's like, but the whole point is that
Right. We keep up because the algorithm tells us we have to.
Right.
You don't have to.
I'm not like
Don't.
I'm very like I'm taking my time watching Hunter x Hunter in the gym in the morning when I like have my little cardio.
Even though we
left.
told you the whole episode last week.
Yeah, well now I'm in the tournament arc, so I'm getting closer bit by bit.
Tournament? Which
Like the first tournament arc with where Hisoka is fighting Gon.
Yeah.
I'm in that.
Oh,
part.
with the
The tower.
He gives him the badge
Stairway
back
to
and all
Heaven
that.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so like all that to say is like
Stairway to Heaven. Fabulous.
there are people that have watched Hunter x Hunter and that been at that way past that point for an extremely long time, and it's like I'm not trash because oh man, you didn't watch. Like you said, it's like
I
a
haven't
million and a
watched
half
Bleach.
animes.
Yeah.
It's a million and a half animes. You know, like it'll be fine. Like so, if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, don't trip. But anyways, any final thoughts on anything?
Watch anime.
Watch anime
Makes
Right.
the world a better place.
and join our Discord. We got a lot of good suggestions, a lot of good pieces of encouragement,
Especially
lot of,
if you're a girl.
especially
Like and subscribe on YouTube.
like and subscribe on YouTube.
Follow us on Instagram.
There we go.
Right. And remember, you grown. You got grown folk shit to do.
Yep.
You'll be okay.
You'll be all right. You'll be fine.
Anime will wait for you.
It's gonna be here until I don't know. It'll be here for a while. But other than that, y'all know the slogan. Stay colorful. Peace.
Do, 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 do.
Doom doom doom. Get the